Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we are doing health readings. Somebody suggested it a little while ago and I had other things planned, but now I can do them. So the health rune is Uruz, and Uruz is the rune of the wild ox. I don't have any ox, so I used bulls. So we have 4 bulls to choose from. Forgive me, I don't know the names of the breeds of bulls except for this one, which is obviously a Highland cow. And I actually was recently at the Toronto Zoo and they have Highland bulls actually there. They're named Blue and Jay after the Blue Jays. So pick a bull, and I will be using the Tarot of the Magical Forest cards and the Elder Futhark on Carnelian crystals, and we will get readings about health. So one of these bulls will be standing by at a reading about health that will be your reading. So feel into the bulls. And one of them will have a reading for you, one or more of them. And I will put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you at the readings. Bye! Hello to those of you who chose the gray bull. I'm just going to call it the gray bull. We'll move the gray bull over here and he can stand by. So let's get a card to start with from the Tarot of the Magical Forest. It's not a particularly health-associated deck, but it was the one that wanted to play today. So we're going to use it. So let's see. How are you? I hope you're doing well in these rare times. Okay, let's see. Card we have the 3 of Cups, so that's quite a nice one. I'm not sure if that's where you're at or whether that's what you're hoping for, which either one is definitely valid. Let's get some runes down and get some clarity on that. So you've got places to be, you've got things to do and places to be and people to interact with. So the health concern is definitely that you want to be there for that because you've already agreed to that. But you've had some concerns. In fact, recently there have been needs that have been almost drop everything and take care of them. They were very much like emergencies. So let me take this rune by rune. Central issue for you, bull number 1 person, bull number 1 people who chose the gray bull, is Gabo. Gabo's the rune of the gift. This has to do with agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. It also has to do with an exchange. It always has to do with an exchange. The gift is always an exchange. And because you don't give anything without getting something back. In that, and in Gabo. And it also has to do with one-on-one interactions. So you've got agreements, you've got decisions and goals and plans made. And ideally, I think this is what you want to be doing. But you've just actually come from a situation leading up to this with Nauthi's reversed. Nauthi's is the rune of need. This has to do, it always has to do with tending your needs, but when it's reversed, it means drop everything and tend to your needs. So there was an emergency that you've just come from. Given that this is a health question, I'm thinking maybe this was a health emergency, something that you actually had to really pay attention to, whether this was something that basically left you, like in bed or, not able to do the things you wanted to do, or if this is just something, okay, well, your health is now in a situation where you have to be very considerate about things for yourself. So it may have been something where, let's say you can't, enjoy the things that you used to enjoy that are like this. You have to make exceptions, and you have to not do everything that you wanted to do like this before, that you used to do. Like maybe you can't have sugar anymore, or maybe you can't have alcohol anymore, or something like that. Maybe it's something like that's sort of putting a damper on this, or potentially might feel like it might be putting a damper on this. Those are just examples. I'm not saying that's what they are, but in terms of just something that you have that's basically stopped everything, you have to drop everything and deal with this emergency. Definitely this has just happened. So this was something that you're coming from into this situation where you're looking at your plans and you're thinking about your plans and the things you agreed to. And this is definitely a goal because it's always fun to do this. But it's kind of, you're now, based on this, coming from this situation where things have changed, where you've had to deal with an emergency situation. Maybe this is something that you're going to have to reconsider how you're going to manifest this. The other thing that Nauthi's reversed has to do with is inner needs. So, because it's reversal. So there may be a situation where maybe you had to take care of some inner needs and now you're coming back into where, okay, I've made plans to do this. However, maybe you're going to be like the rabbit in the middle going, my social batteries run out and I'm here and I have to continue to be here and oh my gosh. So it might be that kind of situation as well. But it looks like the other two are in the same situation, all with the big eyes. So either way, you're coming from a situation where there was, you had to drop everything, you had to stop what you were doing and deal with it. And now you're in the situation where you're looking at, okay, we have GABO, it's agreements, decisions, goals, and plans, and interactions, like one-on-one kind of thing. And you're thinking about that and you're wondering about that. That's your focus. So what's going to help you with that is if you need to make a new beginning, that's what's going to help you the most. Maybe you can't do this the way that you used to, but you can still do it. You're just going to be doing it in a new way. So we have Barkana, which is the rune of the birch tree. This is beginnings and birth. It's a new beginning. It's a new you. It's a new beginning. And it could even just be like you maybe were out of the picture for a while based on this. And now you're coming back out into the picture. And so, you're still, this is still lingering a little bit with you, at least in your mind. And you're coming into this thing where it's like, okay, now I've made some plans. I'm coming up to do this. See it as a new beginning for yourself. See it as fresh emergence from the emergency. But you're seeing it as, see it as, embrace it as a new beginning. This is your rebirth. And that's, to keep this in mind, what you need to, but you have new ways of doing things and you are a new you. You're a new way of being. What isn't going to help is we have Fehu reversed. Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth. I'm going to read this several ways. So first of all, the obvious, which is what might drag you down is feeling like what you're going to be doing isn't going to be worth as much. It's not going to be as worthy for, it's not going to be as good as it used to be. You may feel like you maybe are not worthy to be a part of this kind of thing anymore simply because you can't enjoy it the way that you used to, like that wholehearted not worrying or caring about what you take in or do or how late you stay up. So there's a sense of it's a worry that it's going to be diminished as an experience and that you won't be as much fun. And it's just like that whole sense of, the worth reversed. But there's also a worry, can I be confident doing this new, there's like a worry about your confidence levels coming back into this situation. And as always, and this is based on, again, on this, where you're coming from. But as always, the way that I read, this is your path through the situation. And this is this is what helps and this is what doesn't. And what helps is always the antidote to what doesn't help. So your situation basically, if you feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like I can be as confident as I used to be. I don't know that what I'm doing is going to be as worth as much to me because I'm not going to be able to do whatever this is that you've had to not do anymore, or because you're coming from a situation where you don't have the energy that you used to, or something like that. Just see it as a new beginning. This is your reemergence. This is your rebirth. And, however it goes, it's a new you. I'm going to put down a upper lower on this to expand on this. Further to that, we have Thurizaz, which is the rune of the challenge. It's the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It is a threshold. And that's going to help you with this. It's like you are basically crossing a threshold into your new life at this point. And that's going to help you embrace the whole idea of this is a new me that I'm coming in with. And yeah, see it like as a whole new challenge. It's a whole new life. And look at all the lovely right-facing triangles in the upper lines here, which is like, this is just an extension of this. It's like you cross the threshold and it's a new beginning. So that's that. To come back to what isn't helping, it's, again, that lack of confidence and also that worries about worth. And behind it all is a sense that you won't belong anymore. We have a worry that you won't belong anymore. We have Manas reversed. Manas is there of humanity and your part in it. And that because of this, it's reversed. And it's this worry that you won't fit in the way that you used to because of what you've just been through. And again, these are just worries, like literally just worries. And it's also, even on the not worry part, don't keep yourself from joy. Like, don't hold yourself away from joy just because of these worries, because that also won't help you. So again, what will help you is see this as a new beginning, cross that threshold, take that step, and rebirth yourself, because that's going to help you the most as you refocus on your goals and plans and interactions, because this is definitely a joyous thing, and it's something you definitely want to do. And what this will ultimately lead to is we have Raida, which is the rune of the journey. It's you basically resuming your journey. You've got a new beginning that you're doing now, and from that you can just move forward in your journey of your life, your life's path, your life's journey. And you can just resume that. This is going to be a critical thing, is having those plans that you're now going to be attending to and seeing it as a new beginning and crossing that threshold and becoming part of your new life. And then from there, you can just go from there. You will have established your first steps in your new journey as your new you and move forward on that new journey. So that's exciting. So that, bull number 1, people, is your reading for health readings. So I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, bull number 2, people. So I'm going to move the bull over here, and he can stand there and be a bull. And let's shuffle the Tarot of the Magical Forest and get the card for your reading. This is your health reading, so it's a fairly open topic. Whatever message wants to come through pertaining to your health or the health that you are asking about, it's the health reading. So let's get the card that wants to come through. Okay, so we have the 4 of Swords. Definitely you are being encouraged to rest, or you are already in a period of time of rest. And that's very important. So this is definitely a time that you want to be taking to give yourself rest. So let's get some runes down for clarity. Once again, I'm throwing them. We're using I was worried I was going to flip that, but it actually ended up being one that doesn't have a reversal. So get some runes down. If I didn't mention it before, these are the Carnelian runes. Carnelian has to do with heart and courage, so definitely a good one to use for health readings. I'm actually going to put down the whole spread. They're sort of the extended splash that I used in the daily readings. So when I do them, this past week has been difficult. In fact, the past 3 weeks have been difficult for that, but I'm hoping to get back to them sooner rather than later. So your central issue for your health reading has to do with it's time to rest. You need to be giving yourself this time to rest. And the thing about with your health is that if you don't give yourself the time to rest, your body's going to take it. And that's, you've got to just, it's a little better if it's your choice to do that, because otherwise your health will make you take the time. Not even necessarily your body. It could be a mental health thing where you're just like, no, I definitely need to rest, because it will stop you. Your life will stop you. Your health will stop you if you don't give yourself the time. So definitely give yourself the time to rest, to recover, and to replenish. Your central issue is Isa. Isa is the rune of ice, which is the rune of stillness and standstill. Perfect rune for this. So yeah, that's your focus, stillness. And one of the things about Isa is it's the stillness through which clarity comes, which is kind of reflected by the stained glass in this picture, and the energy coming down into the head kind of thing. So it's definitely good. This is all about your stillness and taking the time to be still. Leading up to this, we have algae, which is the rune of the elk. This is also the moose, and this has to do with protection and support. So you're basically coming from a situation where you either were very supported or you were seeking it. But definitely you do have outer support around you. You do have surrounding of support. Inner support is implied, but this is showing your outer support. You're coming from a place of that. So now you've actually brought yourself to a place where you can rest, and you're giving yourself that rest, and that's going to be extremely important for your health. What's going to help you at this point where you are being still? We have Laguz reversed and we have Yira. So first of all, what's interesting so first of all, you're not moving forward. So Laguz is water, and it's emotion, intuition, heart, and flow. So first of all, you're not flowing forward. You're allowing yourself to pool, and you are going inward. You're exploring your inner feelings. Possibly dreams are a thing that is coming into being right now. They're showing you what your situation is. Getting in touch with your heart again, turning inward and getting reconnected with your heart if you feel like you have been disconnected from that. Getting in touch with your emotions, both comfortable and uncomfortable, but delving deep for that and sort of looking into your inner river and becoming aware of that. And that's what your stillness is going to allow you to do. And what's going to help with that is you're going to be seeing results almost immediately. So we have Yira, which is the rune of the harvest and also time. You're going to find a lot of abundance with doing this. You're going to find nourishment from doing this, and you're going to be seeing results almost immediately when you start just allowing yourself to be still, allowing yourself to rest. This all is going to start taking place, and you're going to start to see results. You're going to see the fruits of your labors. So it's definitely going to be worth it for you. What isn't going to help? We have Raido reversed and we have Fehu. So this is sort of coming from a place of being supported, but I don't want to stop moving forward, because if I do that, then maybe this will go away. This shouldn't, because this is your support system. So hopefully this is just doubts and worries, but it's ultimately I was going to say ultimately lots of times. It ultimately stems from a feeling of, if I use this support that I have, then I'm worried about my worth. Because, who am I if I'm not out in the world doing the things? But this is, these are worries. So yeah, worries about, what good am I if I'm stopped? What good am I if I'm not pushing forward? You're lots of good, you're complete good. But it's all about that. That's what the worries are that are dragging you down. You're worried about stopping your journey forward. Please keep in mind that you're just turning the journey inward. Maybe you're not outwardly charging forward in the world, but both this one and this one, this is the antidote to this. So you're worried about, I'm not moving forward. You are internally. And that's where you're looking inward and looking at your inner river. And as far as, I'm not going to be, I'm going to lose worth on this. I'm worried about my worth. We have Yira, which is the rune of the harvest. This basically shows that quite the opposite. As soon as you start doing this, you're going to be getting a lot out of it. Like, you're going to be getting results, profound results, just from stopping, just from doing this. So it's very, very exciting. It is definitely going to be, it's definitely going to be worth your while to do this. And the clarity is going to come through, and you're going to have a lot. You're going to be rejuvenated and energized, and you're going to find out a lot about yourself. Although I don't see Pertho reversed here, you're going to find out a lot about yourself that you had been not focusing on because you've been trying to work on everything else. So it's definitely going to be very, very good for you. Ultimately, what this is going to lead you to is, by the end of this process, which is going to be, it's not going to be super long, but it's going to be an intensity. We have Gebo, which is the rune of the gift. The gift is always an exchange. This is agreements, decisions, goals, and plans, possibly one-on-one interactions. But what I'm seeing this as is you're going to come out of this and you're going to be like, okay, not only have I done this, because Gebo is like, okay, check that off your list, you've completed it. But not only have I checked that off my list, I have done this, I have rested, I've allowed myself to do this, but now you can make plans based on what you learned from this. You can actually sit down and say, okay, now I'm going to make some plans for the future. I'm going to set some goals for myself. I'm going to make some decisions about my life. And I'm going to make some agreements with myself and possibly with others, one-on-one, of what we're going to do so that I don't have to, I haven't left it to the point where I have to do this. Although you do have to do this all throughout your life, so it's not really, but basically just so that things, anything that you've discovered here is going to feed into, okay, what plans are we going to make for the future? What goals are we going to set? And decisions that you're going to make for moving forward. So that is your reading, your health reading for Pick a Bowl. So I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello to those of you who chose bowl number 3. We're going to move the bowl over here, and he's just going to watch us while we do this. Now let's get a card from the Tarot of the Magical Forest. As I was saying before, the Tarot of the Magical Forest isn't exactly, health specific, but it's a fairly universal kind of thing with cute animals on it. So it's the one that wanted to come out and play today. So that's the main reason why it's here in my hands. Let's see what we need to know for health for bowl number 3. Okay, so we have temperance. That's pretty critical. So it looks like your focus right now for your health is finding a balance. It's about finding a balance between what you know you need to do for your health and what you know you need to do to keep yourself happy and joyful. So that's basically, and that's a tricky thing because there's so much, especially now, that's just everywhere going, eat me, drink me, enjoy me. And unfortunately, if you did all of those things, then you would not be terribly healthy. So, and also, even just consume me. This could even be a situation where it's like taking in news, which is very upsetting lately in the world, in the human world. So, you might, it's finding that balance between staying informed and staying sane. And so that's something else that is definitely in play. So this reading is really going to be about your focus on finding balance in your life. Gebo has shown up in all the 3 readings that I have done so far today. And there is algaes again, which is very interesting because that was in the same spot in the reading I just did. Oh, yes, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw down the entire reading first. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it. I am going to put one here and here, the basic extended splash that I use in my daily readings. But I'm going to give it a minute before I do that. I'm going to read the main splash first. So your central issue, we have Gebo. Gebo's the rune of the gift. This has to do with agreements, decisions, goals, and plans. It can have to do with one-on-one interactions, but the thing about the gift is that it's an exchange. In the runes, the gift is always you give something and you get something. You never give something without getting something in return. And that's basically what is going on with temperance as well. It's compromise. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's a similar. It has the same sort of shape, where it's a give and take, and it's an exchange. So this is going to be about finding a balance and also just basically making decisions about things and setting goals and making plans and agreements, which I just said. Leading up to this, we have algaes, which is the rune of the elk or the moose, and this has to do with protection and support. It's upright, so it's basically you're coming from a place of relative support, or you were seeking it. And either way, it was something that was very important to you just before you got to this point. So you're looking for perhaps strengthening the support around you, but also you are feeling supported enough that you can go ahead and really take a look at this, finding this balance, which has led you to Gebo, which is, as I said. So what is going to help you? We have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. Now, Hagalaz I usually read as chaos and things that are out of your control, but it's also weather, things that, that blow in and cause a lot of problems, but are short-lived by nature. But it's also nature, and it's also your nature. So it's your true nature, and remembering that you too are a force of nature. So even though there's a lot of things that are out of your control, and a lot of things that feel chaotic, you are also a force of nature, and you are just as strong as those things. So, yeah. So this is where I'm going to lay down the rune above and the rune below. Yes. Okay. So what's going to help you with that? Just first of all, thinking about the things that are going on around you as a storm, and as by a storm's very nature, it is short-lived. And these are things that have been in place from the dawn of time, kind of thing. But yes, things are out of your control, but there are things that you can control, and that is where you have the power of your own personal nature. Your own true nature. What's going to help with that is we have Nauthiz, which is the rune of need. Nauthiz always means tend to your needs. So really take care of the basic things, the things that you do have control over. That's going to help you extremely when it comes to dealing with the things that are out of your control. Control what you can. Basically, look around. What can you do in your environment to make your environment better and healthier for you? And do those things. Like, don't just look around and say, okay, well, if I did that, I could do that. That's something I could get up and do. And then turn around and not do it. No, just do the thing. Because you won't believe, well, now I sound like clickbait. You won't believe how much it will help just doing that one thing. Obviously some people have difficulty getting themselves to do a thing once they do it. There's lots of techniques. You can visualize yourself doing it first, and then sort of get yourself to do like just the first tiny bit of it. And then just once you've sat to it, then you'll feel like doing it more. So there's lots of things you can look up. I am not a psychologist, but definitely there is help out there if that's the thing you struggle with. However, look around at what you can do, because there's so much that's out of your control and it can make you feel helpless. But when you look around and see what you can do, you may feel like it's so silly because it's such a simple thing, but do it and you will feel better, I promise. So that's going to help you feel a little more in control of things, and like a little more like things that you do have control over in your life. And it'll give you that sense of strength and power, to remind you that you do have power in the world. What isn't going to help? We have Pertho, which is the rune of the lot box, and we have Isa, which is the rune of ice. And this is why I was saying, it's like, don't just look around and say, okay, I could do that. That's something that's in my capability of doing, and then not do it, because that's what this is. So you see that around you. It's like, how can I support myself? How can these things, how can I get more support in my life? And then you just freeze, because suddenly the responsibility is on you, and you feel like, I can't, but you can. It's perfectly fine. It's allowed. What is not going to help you first and foremost is there's so many things that are being revealed, and it does make you feel like helpless. It does make you feel like you don't have that control, and that's why this is balancing with this. It's like this is nature, and you also are a force of nature, but things are out of your control, and you feel like there's just one more thing that's being revealed that's always been the case, and I can't handle this all. Pertho's the lot box. This has to do with surprises and fate. Whatever's in the lot box was already in the lot box before it opened, and when it opened, it's like, oh, that all along, and it can stop you in your tracks, and especially if you're worried about the next thing that's going to come up and be like, there's another thing that we didn't know about before, and it was always the case and was always horrible. Well, it's not even necessarily an unpleasant surprise, because it's up right in this lower line. But either way, you're full. You don't want any more of these revelations that are suddenly going to come up and be like one more thing that is out of your control. So yeah, that can drag you down, and that can make you feel like, freezing. You're like, I'm just going to freeze. I'm not going to do anything. I can't. I just can't. But you can. This is your path through the issue. Thinking about support, setting some goals, making some decisions, finding your balance. what helps is up here, and what doesn't help is down here, and what helps is always the antidote to what doesn't. So if you feel like you're freezing from this, you feel like you can't move, look at what you can do around you. Look at the needs that you need to take care of that are just basic. They're not emergencies. They're just your basic needs. Maybe sweep the floor, maybe do a load of dishes, that kind of thing. And that will help you stop being frozen and get you moving again. And as for worrying about, the things that might surprise you, it's like, okay, well, but I too am a force of nature, and I do have power. And my power in this particular case is that I can take care of the things that I do have control over. Ultimately, what this is going to lead you to is we have Othala reversed. Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland reversed. I like to read it these 3 ways immediately. Letting go of things that no longer serve you, which is going to be part of finding balance. Stepping outside of your comfort zone, and also finding a sense of home within, so that wherever you are, you can feel comfortable. And definitely that's sort of what you will have reached by this point. So you'll have made all these agreements, decisions, plans, and goals, and compromised with yourself, and then you will feel lighter. The next step is like, I feel lighter. I don't have to worry about these things that I've let go of. And also, it's going to be a new world for me. I'm going to be sort of slightly outside of my comfort zone, but I'm carrying within me the comfort that came from what I was doing with taking care of what I know I can take care of, and taking care of what I have control over. So that, bowl number 3, people, is your reading about health readings. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, bull number 4, people. So let's take this bull, and I'm going to put him over here because he's looking this way, because if I put him like this, then he's going to be looking at the wall. So I'll just put him over here. Good little bull. They're awfully cute. I thought they'd be smaller when I saw them at the zoo, but they're cow-sized. They're just not really big cow-sized, but they're so furry. Like, their ears are all fluffy and furry, and their hair over their faces, and they've got these little pink noses, and they're just super cute. Let's get started. So I'm going to start with a card from the Magical Forest Tarot, the Tarot of the Magical Forest. This is whoa, that one jumped out. Okay, well, we'll take that. I am always willing, almost always willing to take the jump outs. So we have the Ace of Pentacles. You are starting something that has to do with something very, very practical, something very, very grounded, something very, very, something, it might even be money-based, but based on the fact that it's health, I'm really seeing this as like, you're really facing your practical things. It's like, maybe, okay, I need to eat more healthily, or I need to exercise more, or I need to get better sleep. It's something very practical, like very accessible kind of thing, but it has to do with, your living, breathing life. So let's get some runes down to clarify. I'm going to be doing an extended splash, like I do in the daily readings when I do the daily readings. And again, my apologies. Things have been tricky to do daily readings for the past 3 weeks, but I'm hoping that we can resume them because I love doing them for you. Okay. So your central issue, bowl number 4, people, is Berkana. Berkana is the rune of the birch tree. This has to do with, I'm just moving everybody in so that they're balanced. It has to do with beginnings and birth. You're starting something new, and this is like a new you kind of thing. This is like you rebirthing in the world. Leading up to this, and we saw this in the first reading that I did today, where it was Nauthiz reversed. Nauthiz is the rune of need, and reversed, okay, so regular Nauthiz means tend your needs, but reversed, it means drop everything and tend your needs. So you've really just come from a situation where it was kind of an emergency. It's like, it was a wake-up call. It was like, I can't do what I was doing before because this has to be addressed now. So you can't ignore whatever this was about, this emergency. It also has to do with tending to inner needs. So there may be an inner need component that is associated with this as well. But absolutely, there was something that stopped you in your tracks. You had to drop everything and say, okay, we have to deal with this. And that's part of why you're focusing on this right now, the new practical aspects of your life that you maybe had been neglecting. Maybe you hadn't, and maybe there were things you didn't know that were going to be more helpful to you than the things you were already doing. So it could be a situation like that as well. But either way, you're starting something new that has to do with the very, very practical, grounded matters of things. And so this is you're rebirthing yourself. You're having a new beginning. What is going to help you? We have Dagas and we have Tivas. So these are great to have here. I'm actually going to start with Tivas. Tivas is Tyr's rune. Tyr's the warrior god, and he has to do with not only driving forward on your new quest, which this is, but taking care of duties and responsibilities and taking care of what needs to be taken care of. Pick that implement up and move forward, because this is something that you are doing. This is something you're going to be eagerly taking on. These are your new duties and responsibilities, or perhaps extensions of your old duties and responsibilities, but you're taking care of things. And the things around you that you need to take care of, you are taking care of. And this is your new quest, and you're driving forward on it. So it's that eagerness to move forward with this that is going to help you the most. The other thing that's going to help you, what that's going to even help you with, is things are going to be very clear for you right now. We have Dagas, which is the rune of the breaking of the day, and that's coming from this wake-up call that you've just had, and that's sort of sparked you to go, okay, I need to have a new beginning in my life. I need to have a rebirth. And this has really opened up your field of vision. You're seeing more clearly than you have seen in years. We have Dagas, which is the rune of the breaking of the day, and it's full illumination. It's basically all, the whole world of light and color and air, and you're seeing everything. You're seeing very, very clearly. You're even having that little step back of the big picture that's helping you immensely in this new beginning that you're having. So picking up and driving forward on it, and then keeping that in mind, and that's going to actually help you stay on top of it while you're working all of this new stuff into your life that's very, very practical and very, very accessible and very, very hands-on and life-on kind of thing. So what isn't going to help you? We have Gebo, which is the rune of the gift, and we have Vunyo, which is the rune of joy. So two very, very positive runes in the negative spot. That always means a worry about those things. So Gebo in the lower lines tends to mean obligations. So you feel like it's just like all these more things that I have to keep in my mind now. And it's like these things that I gotta do. And these things that it's like taking a stupid walk for my stupid health. But it's, it's just sort of when it feels like that, then it does drag you down, because then you're worried about your happiness. It's like, I was happy before, and now I have to do all this, and where's my happiness now? It's like, you're going to have it. Look at, these are extremely happy runes here. It's the dawn, it's the breaking of the day, and it's like you with a mission and a plan and a drive, and it's really, really good. So what's really neat here that I'm seeing, so yes, obviously we're worried about health, and we're worried about all the things we got to do, the plans we're making, and the things, all the obligations. But I want you to notice this about the obligations is, like, you're not seeing the whole picture with this. It's like you're focused in on the extra stuff you got to do. But bring it back up here to what's the antidote, which is Dagas. And it's now, with those extra lines, it becomes the dawn. This is like, and you can see the big picture. So this brings in the bigger picture where you're like, yes, I'm doing these things, and they're going to be worth it, because I will feel healthier. I will feel better in the world. I will be able to probably, depending on what kind of things you're working on, I'll feel more flexible. I'll feel like I can breathe better. I can, I'll have better health. It's going to be better for you. It's just going to feel better. Things are going to feel clearer and more good. So it's definitely worth it. But if you let yourself sink down to this, then it just becomes obligations of like, when do I get to be happy? But it's like, you're doing this so that you can be happy. Like, that's the thing. And you're going to do this with great verve, and you're going to find happiness in doing it simply because you know it's going to help you feel better. So it's like, what was that lady singing the song? It's like, I forgot that taking a shower makes me feel better. That kind of thing. So, we're coming from that wake-up call that basically stopped you in your tracks, that said, okay, I need to have a new start. And then you start to bring in the things that you absolutely have control over, to help you with your health, because this whole thing is a health reading. And so you're having that new beginning, you're rebirthing yourself, and you're seeing the big picture very, very clearly. And you have excitement and drive and energy to move forward and do this. And yes, some of it is going to feel like chores. Some of it is going to feel like obligations. But if you ever feel like it's an obligation, bring yourself back up so that you can see the big picture of it. It's like, yes, I got to do it, but this is why. Remind yourself. And if you ever worry about your happiness, remind yourself how happy you are just to see things coming together, and how every little step along the way that you're doing is getting you closer to this feeling of, I'm going to be like this new me, where I'm going to be happier, healthier, better. What this is all going to lead you to is we have Avaz, which is the rune of the horse. The horse has to do with movement and also spirit. You're letting the horse carry you, and you're moving forward much more quickly. And this is one of the reasons I was like, you can move faster, you can breathe better, and you can carry this forward. This is a completely sustainable thing. It will be anyway, but it'll be even more sustainable and more helpful for you as you maintain going forward this drive for it, this interest in it, this interest in let's continue to get ourselves happier and healthier and continue to unfurl as the new us that we are. So that bowl number 4 people is your reading about health readings. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.